Good afternoon, guys. Hope it's afternoon where you're at. It may not be. I don't know when you'll watch this. Would encourage you. This is a video for 212 volunteers and leaders, and want you to take some time to watch this. It's not going to be a 3 to 5 minute video. It's probably going to be more like 8 to 10. I know we've tried to get together and meet, and not been able to work it out here recently. So I thought maybe a good way to touch base and communicate with you would be with this video, and just give you some information. First of all, man, I'm excited about 212 student ministry. I believe that we're almost 2 years into this, and we've got to see some real life change happen. Definitely not the numbers that we would have desired by now if we're looking at the numbers side of that. But then on the other hand, I would say that there's been seeds sown that have been they're going to have long lasting impact. I'm sure of that. And there's also, I've watched some of these middle schoolers who are now in high school, some of the high schoolers that have just it has been amazing at what God has done in their life. And so I'm excited on that side of it. And then back to the other side, you know, I'd like to see us get our numbers up. I can tell you that before Shockwave, I took about 6 months out, 6 or 7. Last November was the last time I was really in there. I spoke maybe 2 or 3 times here and there, and just had some other things I needed to give myself to. Now, you know, looking before we went to Shockwave, we're 18 or so kids, and last week we had 31 students, so that's great. I would say that we'll turn around this week and have that many or more. So, and we've not been doing anything spectacular. We've been praying, and I think that's where the spiritual aspect is got to be there. It's got to be there. So, what I wanted to talk to you about is some of the changes that I see for 212. If we weren't smack dab in the middle of 8 major high schools, then we could just ignore the fact that we need to have any greater numbers than what we have and be satisfied with 31. 31 is not bad. 31 at a church our size is about probably 15, 20%. You know, at 31, 35, 40, we're probably, you know, we're 10% is good for an average church. 10% is good. I just know that we've got a greater calling than to just have that many, and so we can't shirk that responsibility, and that drives me. That's why I'm doing this video. That's why I keep pushing and working with 212 at the level that I am, is because I want to see that. And so just thinking through the changes, some areas where I think that we've dropped the ball, or we've had some gaps or lack, or just didn't do what we needed to do for just as a reason we didn't know we needed to do it. You know, I always say this, probably somebody said it greater than me and I've copied them, but you know, if you don't know what you don't know, then you are just going to be forever lost. But once you know what you don't know, you can get help. You can fix yourself. And so I want to talk about some changes that I see, and some of this will be a little bit sketchy because it would take some more time than what I can do in a video to tell you, and that's why we'll need to do a meeting at some point. But right now, this will get us by for the time being. I would say I believe in 212. I believe in the concept. I believe in the philosophy, the idea of helping kids to go to the next level, full potential, boiling point, to see them become 1 degree hotter by making one decision in the right direction toward Jesus. And that's the idea of next steps, that we know every student has a next step, so we want to help them to make that step and to take that step. And so I believe in that. And you know, if you're on the team and you don't believe in that, if you're down on 212, if you don't, believe in what we're doing. There's probably some other ministry you could serve in, but don't be here if you don't believe in it. And that's common sense. If I didn't believe in Christ Fellowship, I just wouldn't be here. And I believe in it. I believe in 212. And so just encourage you in that direction. Make sure that you're up, that never a negative word about 212 is uttered from your lips, because when that happens, then you're no good for the team. And so because I know we're in transition, and I see nothing but positive coming. So, but definitely there are some changes that I see. And number one, I'll talk about a few of those. Number one is structure. I think we've been weak on structure. A lot of times when I thought, well, okay, this is covered, then the ball was dropped or we didn't follow through on it. And so I'm going to be more definite about whose role is what and what they need to do, and making sure that gets taken care of. And so there'll be a line of accountability so that we see that happen. And so we'll be making some appointments to some areas to get, because it's really broad, all that needs to take place. It's a lot that needs to be done, and it takes a lot of people. So structure, we're going to deal with that. And then new blood. I think we need to inject some new blood into 212. And we've got some people that want to help. And we have we have some, you can call them rules, you can call them guidelines, you can call them whatever you want to call them. But there is some things you need to adhere to be a leader here. And when you agree to that, it's kind of like honor system. I expect you to do it. If you don't, and I find out, then we're definitely going to have, come to Jesus meeting, because we want to see, we're examples. And I can tell you story after story of people who have turned down opportunities to do whatever because they understood they were a role model. And sometimes you can't when you're leading kids, students, man, there's some stuff you gotta bind yourself to and separate yourself from to be able to lead them. And so there's some new blood coming in, and we'll definitely make sure that they understand what is expected of them. And I think that's going to help, because we need that just to help the team. Because again, back with 212, you got to be passionate, excited about 212. And that kids have got to feel that. And sometimes you got to do double what they do. They only do half as much as what you do. When I was a director choir, I jumped, I leaped, I danced, I did way more than what the kids did. But I can guarantee you, when we hit the stage, everybody up there was moving and going, because I was. And as a leader, especially with students, you've got to set the stage. If you are quiet, reserved, and nothing's coming out of your mouth, then those that are following you will be less than what you are. I hope you catch that. So, new blood that's just passionate and excited about what's happening. And then, so on Wednesday nights right now, we're going to continue to do prayer. And that's what I feel like from God. I feel like that our church corporately needs to be praying together. And definitely for the next 4 or 5 weeks. In fact, this Sunday I'm going to announce I got cards made up. You'll hear me talk about it. I may send a video just about this. I don't know. But I'll definitely talk about it Sunday. About the card idea and what that looks like for corporate prayer on Wednesday nights. As far as our kids that are coming, they're still coming. We want them to come. They love being engaged in prayer, most of them. And so we want that to happen. How many times I've had them come to me and say, can we just have tabernacle prayer? And what we've been doing hasn't been exactly tabernacle prayer. We've just been doing a corporate worship and prayer. We're going to continue that. We're going to drive it. And we want to see the Holy Spirit show up in great ways during that time. So with that in mind, I'm going to take some time on Sunday nights and split our 212 group up into about 3, maybe 4 individual students. So groups of 3 or 4. And let them spend time with leaders who will teach, train, model what this whole 212 student ministry philosophy is. We are not growing for several reasons. Number one, you got to have the one-on-one relationship with kids. That's what tribe leadership's all about. Service to me, we could have service or we could not have service for 212. That really isn't the issue, because we have a service on Sunday morning that's definitely contemporary enough that age group can get something out of. So I don't know, for me, that matters a whole lot. Where real youth ministry happens, and I've told you this before, is when an adult leader will invest, will encourage, will draw a student beyond just feeling like they're a number, or that will just show some attention, make an investment, make an impartation. And so that's what I want for probably 3 or 4 Sunday nights, to do that. And one of the reasons that we've maybe not reached out and connected the way we need to do is some lack of that one-on-one. Secondly, is we haven't done on-sites. Every other 212 that's flourished and that's had growth and really reached into the schools has had the 212 on-sites that have worked. And we can't delay that or let anything obstruct or hinder that. We've got to see 212 on-sites happen. And so part of this time together, 3 or 4 Sunday nights, will be to train, to teach on-sites, and to encourage them, and not to limit it by, okay, we don't have enough cool kids in that school to do it. Boy, that goes against everything that we say 212 is. 212 is ministry that is accepting of anyone. I don't care if you're a jock, or if you're a nerd, or if you're a geek, or you're a dork, or you're popular, or you're not popular, or you're emo, or whatever. We should value those and not devalue them. And so I'm not looking for the ideal kids to come so that we can do a 212 on-site. We need to do it with who we have. And we do have some committed kids. Some of these kids, man, they're here every single Wednesday night. And they've got some real issues at home, issues that they could not come. I mean, they got every reason to say they don't need to come. And so on-sites are so huge. We got to do those. And that they get the philosophy of ministry, the 212 ministry. And that'll take, that I believe is going to take us to the next level. I'm looking at some bullet points I got here. I think I'm covering everything. So that we understand structure, we're going to reorder some structure and put some things, define that, so we know what that is. Bringing some new blood in to help us, and to be real honest with you, every one of these high schools, we need a leader. We talk about youth pastors or whatever. We need youth pastors for every one of those high schools. That's where the youth pastoring. We need to pastor the high school, the middle schools. There's no end to this. We need some new blood, structure, new blood. Spend some time on Sunday nights doing some very small group teaching. Wednesday nights we're going to keep on praying. And then out of that we're going to see some traction come and do some of the things some big things that we need to do. So I hope this makes sense. I've went 13 minutes and 37 seconds right now, and so I know that I need to quit. But I knew it was going to be longer, and appreciate everything every one of you do. 212 is a team effort. It doesn't happen with one person. I'm thankful I was able to step out of it for all those number of months, and it still continued. We're glad for that. And it's sustained, but we need to see it go to the next level, and I want every one of you involved that gets this video, and I want us to see it take off. So now we're at 14:18, so I'm gonna close. Good. See you this weekend. Have a great evening.